Thank you very much, Beth. Please sit down. Thank you all. Thank you very much. Thank you for your warm welcome. And again, I never keep people waiting, and I'm terribly sorry. We're on a bus, and I think it was probably Bud Day's fault that if the bus took a wrong turn. I'll blame him, and he can absorb some of it. And by the way, I'm so proud of him, as I know all the citizens of Iowa are. If you haven't been to the Sioux City Airport, Bud Day Airport, I recommend that you visit it and see the statue there of Bud at the entrance of the airport. By the way, it's a lot better looking than he is, but as Orson and Mike Cronin will tell you, that Bud was our inspiration, and he was our leader, and he gave us courage and helped us to do things that we otherwise would never have been able or capable of doing. And it's always proud to be in the company of a person who has been awarded our nation's highest honor. So could we welcome again we have another special friend with us, Major General John Borling, who also was in prison with us, who just arrived, and Orson Swindle. Marines are generally ugly, but Orson is one of the ugliest Marines that you will ever know. So, John Turner, our Iraqi war veteran, thank you, my friend, for being here, and God bless you for your service in Iraq. Another great Marine and former National Security Advisor to President Reagan, a great leader, Colonel Bud McFarland, who many of you know. Mike Cronin, a dear friend who has also spent time with us in North Vietnam, and I won't dwell on that period of my life, but many of you feel that it was an unpleasant time, but it was. But those people that I know best and love most are those I had the honor of serving under and serving with, and I was privileged to observe 1,000 acts of courage and compassion and love during that time. So I'm grateful for their presence. I'm grateful for all of our veterans, and I'm grateful for you to come out today. I'm very appreciative of it. And if I could, I'd just like to tell you that just not long before I retired from the United States Navy, I was over in San Diego at the Officers Club having a Coca-Cola at the bar, as most fighter pilots do. And standing next to me was a very old, really senile-looking guy. He looked a lot like Orson Swindle. I noticed he was wearing one stripe on his sleeve, which, as we all know, is that of an ensign, and the lowest rank you can have in the United States Navy. And I said, "How long were you in the Navy?" He said, 37 years. And I said, "Well, why were you never promoted?" He said, "Well, I was based at the 1st Squadron at Guadalcanal early in World War II. It was at Henderson Field." There's many people in this room, I think, who remember about Henderson Field. And he said, every night, one Japanese airplane used to fly over our field. It was a harassment raid. It was just this one plane. They called him Washing Machine Charlie. And he said, but the siren would go off. I'd have to get out of my tent, get in the airplane, start the engine, and after a while, since it was just a harassment raid, the all-clear siren would go off, and I would shut down the engine and get out of the plane and go back to bed. It was terrible. I wasn't getting any sleep every night. It was terrible. So I solved the problem. I went out in the jungle and I trained this monkey, that when the siren went off, he'd come out of the jungle, get into my airplane, start the engine, sit there. The all-clear siren would go off, and he would then shut down the engine, get out of my airplane, go back in the jungle. It was wonderful. I was sleeping like a baby every night. Well, one night, it was not Washing Machine Charlie. It was a real Japanese air raid. I came out of my tent just in time to see that monkey taken off in my airplane. I said, "Well, I can certainly see why you were not promoted." He said, "That's not what makes me mad. The monkey retired as an admiral." I don't know why it is. Maybe it's a little compensation for being real late, but I got an award not long ago for helping with the peace process between the Protestants and Catholics in Ireland, and I didn't deserve it, but I did note at the time that the only ethnic joke you can tell in American politics today are Irish jokes. I don't know why that is, but it's just a fact. Oh, so here it is. Bar in New York City, empty. One guy down at either end of the bar. One guy gets up, walks down the other end of the bar, and sits down next to the guy and says, "Where are you from?" He says, "I'm from Ireland." He says, "Really?" He says, "I'm from Ireland too. Let me buy you a drink." He says, "No, let me buy you a drink." And he went back and forth. He says, "Where are you from in Ireland?" He says, "I'm from Dublin." He says, "No, I'm from Dublin too." "Really? Let me buy you a drink." Let me back and forth. The guy says, "Where'd you go to high school?" He said, "I went to St. Mary's." He says, "No, that's not possible." He said, "I went to St. Mary's too." He said, "Really?" Back and forth. The guy walks in the bar, sees all the commotion down at the end of the bar, and says to the bartender, he says, "What's all going on down there?" The bartender said, "It's just the O'Reilly twins getting drunk again." Anyway, I don't know why it would bother you with that joke. I'm here, my friends, for one reason with my friends, and that is that I believe that we should not choose to lose in Iraq.
Amen.
We cannot. We cannot set a date for surrender, which would be a date for withdrawal from Iraq. If we leave under those conditions, you will see chaos, genocide in Iraq, and we will be back. And we will be back because it will become a base for al-Qaeda activities. And if you don't believe that, look at what Zarqawi has to say, look what bin Laden has to say, look what Zawahiri has to say, and they're the ones that say that it's not Iraq they want. They want to overthrow the House of Saud, and they want to destroy the United States of America and everything we stand for and believe in. Look at the latest bin Laden tape. By the way, as President of the United States, I will get him. I'll bring bin Laden to justice. Now, General Petraeus and this new strategy is working. I understand, and you do too. No one knows better than veterans. No one knows better than veterans the horrors of war. No one knows more than veterans that war is an awful thing. Well, it's an awful thing, but it's not the worst thing. Defeat is the worst thing. I understand the frustration as you do too. For nearly 4 years we had a failed strategy under Rumsfeld, and there were some of us with military background and experience who saw it was going to be a failure, argued strongly against it, tried to change it to the strategy we're using now, and the strategy we are using now is succeeding. It is succeeding. This general is a great general, and it's the right strategy, and we are succeeding. And it's a fact. And do we have problems? Yes, with the Maliki government not functioning correctly, the police are not doing the job they should, and there's other problems. But there are thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of Iraqis who are now living in an environment of far greater security than they were 6 months ago. Now, my friends, it's very unfortunate. Where's our little advertisement, the billboard that we had? Petraeus. Yeah, we can get. You may know that in the last few days there was an advertisement, that full-page advertisement in the New York Times. It's probably one of the worst things that I have ever seen in my life. And as you know, it said General Petraeus or General Betray Us. Now, my friends, and I've got a copy of that I'm going to show you. Here is an honorable and decent man who spent his entire life in the service of his nation, is now respected and admired by literally everybody who serves under him, and our brave young men and women who are serving in Iraq. And a liberal left-wing organization, MoveOn.org, decides to take out a full-page ad that says, General Betray Us. That's unconscionable. We should call on every single Democrat candidate for President of the United States to renounce and denounce this. They have not done so.